So you want to do some cool green screen effects a little bit better than what Zoom can do by default. So Zoom by default can let you show a static image in your background or a pre-recorded video or maybe a slideshow. What if you wanted to be able to show your entire desktop background, every single thing that you're doing, and not only just record it like this, but run it through your Zoom feed to your students? Well, I can show you guys how to do that. You're going to need a few things for this to work for you. Few things. By the way, I'm doing this live using the software I'm going to teach you about, so including making this pop up on screen. So the tools needed. You're going to need a Windows computer if you want this to run easily into Zoom. On Mac, it's much more difficult and requires a much more complicated process. You're going to need the OBS software, which is completely free, an OBS virtual camera plugin, which is completely free. This is not available on Mac, and that is why this process isn't simple on Macs, and I'm not going to get into it. The second monitor would be highly recommended for running a Zoom call as well as a screen capture. Otherwise, you would be screen capturing your Zoom call. So yeah, definitely recommend second monitor. And then maybe an adventurous spirit if you're scared by any technology stuff. This has a lot of buttons, but you can learn what they do. It's definitely something that you can figure out. All right. So let me show you how to get this stuff. So to get OBS, OBS is Open Broadcaster Software. You can just Google search it, go to the download page, download the installer, and install it. I'm going to assume that you are able to install a program. All right, then search for Virtual Camera for OBS. This is the other piece of software we'll need. It should pop up this link, which is a forum post with a virtual camera. You can download it and install it. Neither of these things are viruses, and lots of people use them. Okay, so now you've downloaded and installed the programs. How do you actually use it? Let me drag open from my first monitor to my second monitor so you can see it, what this program looks like. And you'll notice that it's actually on and being used right now as I'm recording this. That's what I'm recording with. Okay, so when you first open this up, you won't have things here. You will have a scene, and there will be no sources for it. You can add more scenes as you want, but just start with one. And then you'll need to add sources. So you'll want to add a source by clicking on the plus button. You can add different types of sources. You'll definitely want a video capture device. If you click on that, then you can add a video capture device, and you'll probably want to add your camera. So your camera could be your webcam. You'll notice that my webcam is not the camera I'm using because I have a nice USB camera plugged in that's looking a little bit better, but you could do this just fine with your webcam. All right, so once you've done that, I'm going to get rid of that because I already have a different camera feed. You'll also probably want a display or window capture. I just do a display capture, and I capture my entire second monitor. You could just capture a certain window if that's what you prefer. Now you're going to run into some issues, which is, for one thing, that which you probably will have is no green screen effect. I'm going to turn my green screen effect off so you can see what this will probably look like when you first do it. You'll probably see something like this, and you won't see both things. You'll either just see you or just see your display capture. Notice that the sources are listed here. You can drag them on top of each other, and this is a layering system. If I drag my video capture, which is I have labeled capture card here, on top of the display capture, then you can see it above the display capture. But if it's the other way around, you see the display capture and not the camera feed. One thing you can do is click on the video capture and then click on the corner of it in the actual layout, and you can resize it as you're talking. And you can also drag it around and reposition it. So I recommend doing that. You also probably want to turn on a green screen effect. So you need a green screen behind you. It can also be different colors, but you want one nice solid color that's not something that you're wearing. In your sources feed, you want to click on that video source, and you want to right-click it. There's a whole bunch of things here. You want filters near the bottom here. Click on filters, and then you want to add an effect filter. So there's a plus button here. Click it. There's a whole bunch of effect filters. The one we care about right now is chroma key. So go to chroma key, hit OK, and look, mine instantly worked. That's because I have a green screen, and green is the default. You can change to blue or magenta or custom. Custom, you can then select color and figure out the color that best matches the screen behind you. If you don't have the correct color selected, for example, if I use blue, notice that things look all weird, and it's not a very nice situation. You can tell things are working when they look nice. That's pretty much it. Close that once you've got it working, and you've got your nice green screen effect where it's ignoring the green color and just showing my other display capture behind me. And then resize yourself to however you want it. If you want to, by the way, you can add things like text, which I did earlier, which allowed me to do things like this. And you just do that by adding another layer of a text box, and you can play around with this. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this. You can set up multiple scenes with different layouts that you can switch to instantly on the fly. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that. This is just the basics. If you've installed your virtual cam correctly, it should show up under Tools. If it doesn't show up there, please install your virtual camera correctly and come back. Maybe restart the computer, restart OBS, try to install it again, get it to work. It should show up here. You'll need to make sure it's turned on. It probably will auto start by default. You can turn auto start on and off, and you can start and stop it here. Make sure it's started, and then open up Zoom. In Zoom, you can go to your settings. Mine opened up on my other monitor, so let me slide it over here. And under settings, you can go to your video settings. My camera in Zoom is set to OBS camera, and you can see it's displaying what's going on in my OBS scene. If it was set to a normal webcam, you'd just be seeing my normal webcam. So you want to make sure it's set to OBS camera, which you can do as long as you have that virtual camera installed. And this is it. You're done. That's running through your Zoom call. If you start up a Zoom meeting, which I could do right here, and let me slide it over because it's on my other monitor, you can see that my Zoom call is my OBS feed. This is Zoom now, right? And you're getting the OBS feed nicely through that. I could have it like this, right? And you kind of get the idea. You're getting that infinite screen thing because I'm displaying it on that screen. That's why normally you want two monitors and to be doing this, on the other monitor. All right, this was just trying to go over the absolute basics of how to use OBS to set up fancy green screen stuff. There's a lot more to it. There's tons of resources available online about all of this. And let me know if you have any questions.